Hi, Professor Vinod. I should say Professor Vinod. Very proud of my students' achievements. Welcome to RV College of Engineering and welcome to your department. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much, Professor. You are my teacher, so it's very honorable, or it's a great honor for me to sit here next to you, talking to you.
Glad to know, Vinod. I have few questions to you. Being a Bangalorean, Appata Kannadiga, from India, RV College of Engineering to Aachen, then to Dortmund. I say, being the academic dean of the Dortmund University, we feel really proud of your achievements. How can you achieve all those things, and what was your perception in the beginning before you travel to Germany?
Thank you, sir. I'm very flattered. It's very nice to hear such words from someone who has taught me. I did my mechanical engineering here. You taught me metrology and measurement systems. It so happened that at that time, RV College of Engineering had an MOU with RWTH Aachen, and that was my pathway. So this college basically laid the framework for me to go to Germany, and it was a very smooth process for me going from here to there because everything was taken care of. There was no admission worries, so I got my admission. I went there, I did my master's in automotive systems engineering, and immediately after that I did my PhD in combustion engines. I worked on diesel engines for large engines, for example locomotive engines, ship engines, bus, truck. So this is what I did. And then I was in the industry for around 12 years working in the sector, commercial vehicle engines. And then it was in 2016 that I started coming back to academics, where I started a single lecture I offered at the University of Dortmund while I was also working in the industry. And that gave me more enthusiasm to get into academics as well. And my mother being also a teacher was a big motivation for me, and I moved into the university in 2018 and took up the chair of vehicle dynamics professor there, in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, and for the last 1.5 years I've been the Dean for International Affairs. And now in this year, in April this year, 2025, I also became the Dean of Academics in the department. So that has been my progression at the university so far.
Congratulations, Vinod. I'm really very proud of you. I was also Dean Academics in the institution for last 8 years, but my student now occupying that responsible position, really moved by your achievement. You said in 2016, you changed the line from industry to academics. So what is your perception why changing from industry line to academics? In Germany especially, how do you feel? Is it a lucrative or your choice, one and only choice of joining to teaching fraternity?
I think teaching requires a certain intrinsic motivation, to be a teacher, because you are well paid in the industry, and to then change lines to the teaching field and take up a professorship requires a certain desire to make a change in the society. And this, like I said a little earlier, I had my mother as a role model, but I also had a lot of teachers around me at different stages of my life, starting from school up to college, who showed me how a good professor can be, or a good teacher can be. And there was this feeling of wanting to give back to the society, and that is the one that finally pushed me to go into the academics.
So now you love teaching?
I would love to teach a different subject every time. Teaching the same subject becomes a little boring for me, but yes, I do enjoy teaching a lot. I enjoy the interaction with the students, particularly when students can come up with the solutions, and I'm more the facilitator rather than teaching them from front on. I enjoy that form of teaching very much.
Vinod, we would like to know the style of content delivery in Dortmund compared to the one you have experienced during your graduating days? And what are the changes happened over the time? And finally, you can help us to understand the mode of teaching, the style of delivery, the ICT tools, the kind of tools used, and how the students, faculty, interaction happens. Be heard from others is always project-based learning. So what do you say about the mode of delivery?
Well, when I did my graduation here, it was very front-on. It's a frontal kind of learning where the professor would...
Conventional. It will be black and white teaching.
Yes. And to be very honest, when I went to the university in Aachen to do my master's, it was not very different. So the professor would still
take meaning blackboard teaching.
Yes, it would be PowerPoint slides, but more or less, as you can imagine, it was a one-way delivery and the students did not interact much at that point in time. Okay. But in the 15 years since, quite a lot has changed because the students are not, or it has been established that the learning of students is much better when you let them discover things by themselves rather than you explaining the world to them. So I have changed my role into someone who points them in a certain direction and helps them to learn some things by themselves, explore, absolutely, rather than to say what the A's, B's and C's are. Okay. So that has definitely changed, and I think I'm not the only one who does it that way. I think across the board everyone does it. The idea of project-based learning and experiential learning is, I think, also an instrument of the last 7-8 years, when we realized that with increased automation and with increased level of sophistication in the systems around us, that the students would need to work in a more project management or project-based environment rather than sitting in their own silos. They cannot live today in saying, I'm only a mechanical engineer or electrical engineer or a computer science engineer. They need to have an overall view of what's happening in a project. And this is what we try to teach in a project-based environment, even at Dortmund. We give them in an interdisciplinary project and make them work in teams. And then even if they are working in their own little subgroups, they also know or are aware of what's happening in the other groups.
Correct.
So you don't need to be an expert in everything, but you need to have a rough idea of what's happening in some of these parts.
Correct.
So that is the important part that we are trying to deliver. The final aspect is what I've noticed in the last 3-4 years is possibly, I don't know, I think it's the effect of the pandemic, that the attention span of the students, it has also reduced. Attention span, or they, to put it differently, they rather expect nuggets of information than bulk information.
Correct.
So we try to package the whatever we are trying to say in smaller modules and then give a lot of experiential learning in between.
Correct.
So they can link the different packages with each other. So this is what I have seen in my environment over there.
Okay. Very true. Thank you very much for sharing that information. Professor Vinod, being the distinguished alumnus of Department of Mechanical Engineering, RV.
Thank you, sir.
So now your academic deal, probably you are also designing the curriculum, but especially mechanical is concerned. So please share your view, perception, how we can take up the changes in the mechanical curriculum over the years. So you can say what is lacking, what is to be done on priority, so that the quality of one is content delivery, something of curriculum, and right thing is imparted to students, especially mechanical is concerned.
Yes, sir. So I see it as threefold. One is the content itself.
Okay.
The content has changed quite a lot.
Okay.
Because what we did learn as knowledge or I would say knowledge and content as synonyms. What we learned as knowledge in those earlier days when we studied is probably not so relevant today anymore. There are a lot of systems that, for example, can give you a design proposal. If you want to design any system, there is artificial intelligence to give you a basic design. So the art of drafting and drawing, for example, is not as important, but to be able to judge if the given design makes sense or not, that knowledge has to be there. So it is similar. This is the knowledge that's required, but from a different angle. So the ability to say this is right, that is not right. This perception that needs to come on. Second is, we talked about it already, interdisciplinary.
Correct.
It cannot be just mechanical. So if I build, for example, a very simple table today, in Germany, many of the tables are electrically adjustable. So you're already talking about an embedded system there.
Correct.
So it involves electronics, it involves electricity, but it also involves classical mechanical design. So that is the knowledge part of it. The second is the method. We talked about project-based learning. What we also try to encourage is for them to do an internship. I know you also have it here, that they do 6 months of internship. They go away for 1 semester. They experience what an industry is, and they come back and they are so much wiser because they've learned something more. They also build a network there and get back possibly with jobs already on offer. So that is more practical learning, project-based learning, experiential learning. We have a lot of labs where they come in. So we are trying to reduce the number of hours that they spend in the lecture hall.
Correct.
More in the labs. That helps as well. So this is the second aspect. The method is the second aspect. The third aspect would be the actual numbers, because we need higher numbers of students coming through for the industry, and we need to encourage the students to come in, because I think you don't have that problem here, because RV College is always full industry. But if you compare, at least in Germany, the gap between the number of skilled labor force required to how much we have, there's a big gap. We need a lot more people than we have, and we need to promote this, and this can be promoted only by changing the curriculum and making it more attractive.
Verify.
So say, correct, this is something with which you have a future. So one of the buzzwords today is sustainability, or if you say AI, it works really well. So these are topics that we are trying to bring into our curriculum, not just on a superficial level. We really want to offer content in that area, but that makes it much more attractive for incoming students, and then also for the industry later, because they have skilled for workforce in that area.
Very fine. My next question would be same thing. Have you integrated AI into mechanical engineering courses? If yes, to what extent, and what your advice to us?
So we are very basic when it comes to integrating AI in our courses. We do have a little bit of AI being handled in one of our undergraduate courses in the first few semesters. Okay, but it is more superficial rather than
Layer.
it's just But we also noticed that we need to do it at a deeper level. Because you are doing it, I heard. Yes, you're offering an AI course. Yes, which I find fantastic, because I believe that knowing the tools, knowing the advantages and limitations of those tools is very important for the students, or even for us, to apply AI in an efficient way in the future. And unless that knowledge or awareness is there, it is either treated with a little bit of fear, because I don't know how to use it, or there are some people who treat it with complete belief that it will be 100% right all the time, which is also not true. So I think we need this training, and I find it fantastic that you're doing it.
Oh, thank you so much. My last question would be, we know that in all the German universities, there is stringent method of evaluation, rigorous, to check the quality and outcome of the delivery. So with the change in students' attitude or approach Is it affecting? Because we are also finding it bit difficult. We are not no less than any other university. However, we are just facing the problem of compliance, meeting the deadlines. Hope you understand what I am trying to say. We have a little bit flexibility, but we are not compromising the quality. But how do you face in your German university regarding the approach, regarding the attitude of the students, and is it affecting really the quality of the rubrics or not? How do you do?
Yes. So the general accepted view is that, like I said earlier, the size of the knowledge packages has to be smaller. Okay, now for the students, some of my colleagues perceive that as a drop in quality of the students. Okay. On the other hand, some of us do perceive it as maybe just a method that is different, because we need to approach the students differently with the information that we have. When it comes to the examination quality, at our university, every professor is responsible for their own grading.
Complete autonomy.
Completely, from beginning to end.
So he sets the paper,
Yes.
he evaluates,
Yes.
and he decides.
Yes. Okay. And because this happens by one person over so many years, there is a certain consistency in the grading. So it's either consistently high or consistently low, or in between. So there is a certain consistency about it. So that way we don't have that.
So whatever the teacher says,
Yes.
is final.
Yes. The professor's grade is the final grade.
Oh, correct, guys, correct. So thank you very much. I'm really proud of your achievements, Professor Vinod. Keep coming. I think under your association and whatever the assignments you are supporting us to RV, I think we should take to the next level. Thank you very much for being associated with RV College. I think let me thank on behalf of all the technical faculty, thank staff of mechanical engineering. Very proud of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Hari.